Alright, y'all, this has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to talk about this for months, but then life happened and they started an international trade war. So I wasn't even sure if you could get this thing or how to talk about it, but we got a moment, we got a breath, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite new fight sticks. Let's get to it. Long teased and confusingly named and marketed, the KBGM-H08 is a fresh fight stick design from DOIO. Previously making waves in the fighting game scene with their aluminum body controllers and impressive RGB implementation, they've applied their design experience from making keyboards to create an absurdly thin fight stick. The 08, as I'm going to call it from now on, comes in at less than half of the size of most traditional arcade sticks, closer to the size of a leverless controller. With its thin profile and optional detachable joystick, you might think that this makes it the perfect travel stick, but consider this. This boy is heavy. At almost 9 pounds, it's heavier than the much larger Victrix and almost double the weight of custom metal cases from makers like All Fight Sticks. The sheer density of it makes it feel even heavier. Its thin design is made possible by sandwiching a PCB between a 2-part aluminum body filled with layer upon layer of soundproofing foam, with keyboard switch buttons and a custom designed microswitch joystick. The buttons are designed in the same style of their leverless controllers, with low profile chalk V2 switches and custom PBT keycaps that imitate the caps of arcade buttons. The switches seem to be Kale Autumn switches, which provide a soft, satisfying click. I'm generally not a fan of clicky switches, but combined with layers of sound dampening foam and a dense construction, it provides a satisfying tactile sensation without those sharp, high frequencies. DOIO's custom lever is easily the most impressive part of this kit. Designed in the style of Japanese levers like Sanwa and Seimitsu, it easily competes at the same standard. There's no looseness, with precise directional control that reliably carries your intentions. The construction is pretty similar to J-levers, with a spring tension system and a gate that drives contact with pronged microswitches, but compressed to reduce the height and distance of the PCB. DOIO of course offers replacement parts to alter the feel of the joystick, and this is where it can get pricey. The detachable shaft doesn't come standard, and if you want another ball top or capsule top, you might be best buying off directly from them, since the shaft is designed in the style of the Victrix fight sticks, with an M6 thread that will be exposed if not used with a custom countersunk top. I'm not sure if other Sanwa accessories will work either, and I'm not really going to be finding it out anytime soon because this thing is a pain to mod. Even as an experienced modder, the teardown is anxiety inducing. There are so many loose parts, different screw types, segmented acrylic light diffusers, keycaps, foam layers, rubber button caps, and custom PCBs that are connected by ribbon cables. The custom construction and the number of layers make it hard to figure out what order to disassemble it in, and even just replacing the shaft with DOIO's quick release unit was enough to make me decide that I'd never want to try opening it up again. It's technically a moddable stick, but unless you got serious experience and the confidence of a surgeon, I wouldn't really recommend attempting to mod it. It's a good thing then that the stock experience is fantastic. Nearly everything feels premium, and the aluminum construction gives the stick no flex, with the keyboard switch buttons and custom lever feeling sharp, snappy, and responsive. It feels so good, I find myself just mashing when I'm not playing, just to get those satisfying clicks. If that's all that the H08 had, that'd be enough to stand out among the current fight stick offerings. But this is also one of the few retail sticks that is offering the GP2040 CE firmware, and one of the few off-the-shelf units with additional action buttons. The H08 comes in Noir and Bulick style layouts, both with 2 additional thumb buttons below the standard 8-button cluster. Out of the box, the 2 buttons are mapped as L3 and R3, perfect for button macros and much easier to reach than the pinky column. This 8+2 layout is becoming more common among custom fight stick makers, providing a more versatile layout, almost feeling like a necessity as fighting games begin to utilize more buttons in their control schemes. That versatility extends beyond fighting games as well. The H08 is the perfect companion for arcade games, 2D action games, and even 3D games if you're stubborn enough. As long as you don't frequently use the right stick for camera control or aiming, you can find a control scheme for it. By holding start when plugging in, you can access the web configurator, where you can set up to 4 custom profiles. Here you can change your button mappings, add additional direction buttons, adjust SOCD settings, or even emulate the analog stick, complete with tilt modifiers that simulate pressing it at different pressure, all of which is displayed in the mini OLED screen. I generally map the pinky column to the lesser used L3 plus R3 buttons and put the triggers on my thumb buttons, making it easier to hit button combos that use the face buttons and triggers together. I'll generally be running a profile optimized for fighting games and one for other action games, but that's not the limit. You can set a profile for rhythm games, platform fighters, or twin-stick shooters if you want. Features like this are something that you'd have to spend a lot of time and money to get just a few years ago, and they probably wouldn't even work this well. Between the flexibility of the software, the solid metal construction, and the additional thumb buttons, it makes other fight sticks that sell themselves as a premium experience like the Victrix look like a total scam. I mean, that thing doesn't even allow you to have L3 and R3 buttons mapped at the same time. But here's the big caveat. As an unlicensed stick, the H08 has no native PS5 compatibility. Anyone who's used a Hot 42 controller or similar will be familiar with the pass-through shenanigans required to get them working, and that still only allows you to play fighting games, unless you have a converter like a Brook FGC2. Either option will add a decent chunk to the price, and that's all before you get to the cost of shipping. I paid about 250 USD on DOIO's site, but shipping brought that to a bit over 300 USD, and that was before international trade situation got fucked over. Add any accessories into the package and well, you're back at that Victrix tier pricing again. Even with a high price tag and limited customization options, I can't say that this is anything other than totally worth it. Every time I pick up this thing, I have a good time. It looks good, it plays good, it has every feature you could possibly want and more, and even after switching up some parts, I found myself going back to the stock experience. Something that I can't say about any other stick. The engineering of the H08 is beyond what you could probably build on your own, with the flexibility to open up new ways to play instead of forcing you to adapt to its limits. If you're willing to pay the high cost and deal with the confusing ordering process, you're in for something that's truly top tier.